What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Accidental Isolation, where I like to bring on the guests to speak about a moment in their life where they may have found themselves isolated, whether that be physically, mentally, or emotionally. This podcast is to give listeners an opportunity to see how common it is to find themselves in accidental isolation. And hopefully, they'll be able to gather some tools from our guests that we have on to put in their toolbox in their walk through life. Today, we got Columbia music artist Solo G, man. What's up?
Not much, man. Glad to be here.
Yes, sir, man. I really appreciate you just giving me your time today to be on the show, and hopefully our listeners and viewers will be able to gather some tools to put in their toolbox, man.
Appreciate you for having me on. I'm glad to help in any way I can.
Yes, sir. Let's get into it, man. So, first let's let them know who you are, right? So, Solo G, man, music artist from Columbia.
Yeah.
My fault.
That's
No, I won't
pretty.
let you say all that.
I mean,
Oh,
nah. I
yeah,
mean, that's really all to say though. It's nothing really crazy too. I mean, I feel me. I'm young in the game. I mean, there's a lot of things I still got to do. So that's pretty succinct as it is. Columbia is where I'm from. But yeah.
and you hit it right on the head, man. You're young in the music game.
In life too. Oh,
In life too, you 100% right, man. We
facts.
young, we just trying to figure it out. And that's just another reason, like, I want to put this platform out there, right? Because it's a lot of people our age, right, who's trying to figure this out. They don't really know what to do, or they may know what to do, but they may find themselves in isolation, right? And I'm sure there's a lot of other music artists out there, young in the game. They might be old in life, but they might be young in the game, trying to figure out how it works. And even me, I'm an athlete. I know I can't ride the roller coaster of emotions of getting cut, getting picked up, cut next day, So that's kind of how it is in the music game. I got a lot of friends, especially like you, might get a placement this week, might get a couple dollars, but then the next placement might not come for another month, 2 months, whatever the case may be.
And a couple dollars really just a couple dollars, like some
Exactly.
gas in the tank.
Exactly, man. So I know the listeners really enjoy listening to your story, man. So let's tell them a little bit about your backstory, right? So we know you're from Colombia. Tell us a little bit about how you grew up, maybe. What that was like.
So I grew up in pretty simple conditions. Stayed with my mom and my brother. My pops, he wasn't in the house, but he was still active. He still helped out when he could and everything. Um, my mom was kind of big on education, so she didn't put a lot of money into like a lot of clothes and things. So I had the hand me downs, the high water situation. You already know how that goes. But she kind of really stressed the importance of education, be able to think for yourself and create something for yourself with knowledge that you can apply.
I can tell you about it now, man. So I went to high school with Solo. Um,
You know,
in the hand me, you wouldn't know there was hand me down because his drip, like, you know what I'm saying, his drip kind of like that where he can
yeah.
finagle. You know
Well,
what
by
I'm
the
saying?
time the drip was crazy, I was buying.
Oh, in
Yeah,
high school, you were buying, okay, you were buying your own clothes.
Just
Okay, so
it's
he
nothing
better.
crazy, but yeah.
Had to get him, man. Had to get him, man. All right, man. So, the title of the podcast, man, accidental isolation, right? That's what it is, and that's what it's about. So, tell us what it that looked like for you. Was it one? Was it multiple of them?
Yeah, so just how I am as a person, I am quick to I don't want to say quick to isolate, but it's easy for me to kind of fall into the background, go into wallflower mode and just not really I can be in a space and just not actively participate in it. I can just kind of be in my own world, or even if I am, present in the area, it's not with everybody else. It's just I'm in the vibe of the space, but I'm not actually participating. And again, that's just kind of how I've always been. I feel like I got that from my brother, kind of, because he's really, really introverted. Like I think I'm kind of introverted, but once I'm around people, I can get extroverted. But he's kind of like he's really to himself and just grown up, with that. Outside of unless I'm talking to him or something, we kind of really stay to ourselves. Even like at family gatherings, we were kind of the black sheep. Um, Not because there wasn't love being shown or love being given.
That's
It's
just how
just
y'all was.
yeah, that's just how it was. If you're not my brother, I just probably not gonna talk to you. Like I don't care what you say. But yeah, so I'll say it kind of started with that. But throughout life, it's definitely happened multiple times. I'll say the first major one that I can remember is going off to college. I'll say, just leaving your primary friend group or who you had been hanging around with in the city, and really just starting to navigate. on you're in a whole new environment, new people, um, new mannerisms, just a lot of new things to get adjusted to, new freedom, especially coming from you know how the Met is. It's definitely nice to
Get
have your
out,
own, yeah, get out your people's crib and
especially
really,
college that first year.
yeah, you
That first year, you have all the fun in the world,
you
and
know
then
the
boom,
vibe, and then yeah,
life
bills and
hit.
loans and academic probation. Yeah, yeah. I think that was the first major one, and again, it wasn't nothing out of like, oh, I feel depressed or like I'm necessarily like in a bad space. It got really to that second year. I'll say like sophomore year, I moved out. We got an apartment off campus, and I kind of just fell back from like I don't want to say I fell back from friendships because I don't think I have too many friendships. Like most of the friendships, like y'all brothers for real.
Yeah,
So it's not even like, oh, we cut off or like we
yeah.
not on good terms. It's
We just
just
don't speak every day.
yeah, you
But
feel me? It's like we know how life is. Everybody's trying to still make their own path. We're all really early in our careers. Um, yeah, it's just a lot of time that we still have to put in to get where we're trying to go. So I think that's when it first really just manifested itself. Um, I was I was getting texts, but I wasn't always responding, or I was thinking I was responding, or I was thinking I was gonna go meet people, making plans, canceling last minute, or they cancel. I'm lit.
you
Like,
fine with it.
boy, I'm happy. I'm turned for real. Like, yeah, bro. Nothing's better than like a plan I made, and instantly after I made the plan, I already regretted making it. And then it's like that, but I did. You feel me? You got to be a man of your word. So naturally, you still go. But if they say they're gonna cancel, oh, that's love. Or
I'm working through that now. It's like I try to get out the house. I'll make a plan. And then I talked to one of my friends the other day. It was like, yeah, I'm going out tonight. Let's go out, find a place to go. And then I said, I'm about to go to the movies first.
yeah.
And then I got back from the movie. I was like, all right, yo, you found a place? She said, oh, you was for real. Because it was like you cancel all the
Facts.
time, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, man, I had to sit back and think, like,
You can't even knock them for that because it's like I
that
don't
is
be
who I
going
am.
out. Yeah.
Right, and I don't always want it, but I understand. I'm
Yeah.
sure a lot of people out
But we
there
still like the invite though. It's like I
understand.
like to have the option.
I like to feel like I want it.
Yeah.
Nah. So you was talking about that first like moment of isolation that you felt, right? Going to college, going off, first. Give us a few. Tell us kind of like what that day to day looked like, almost, right? So you said it's not like you were in a deep depression, right? And that's not all what isolation is about, right? It's not like you're on the edge. It's not always about that. But like you said, I would say you probably physically and emotionally isolated yourself from people, right? Right.
Definitely.
Mentally, you were there because if you text back, you text back. But
Yeah.
emotionally, you was like, I don't really want to go.
Facts. Yeah. I don't want to.
I'm going to go because mentally, I know these are friends, associates. They want me out with
It'll
them, but I
probably be a
just
good time.
exactly. When I get there, I'll have a good time, but like I don't want to. And the question, like we kind of got to ask ourselves, like, why is that, right? It's not that it's wrong. It's never
Yeah.
wrong to not want to do something, but why is that, right? So
Mm-hmm.
looking back now, first let's talk about a little bit what does the day to day look like? Like you just got to college, right? You left. You was with your mom, your brother, right?
Yeah.
Household a little strict, not super strict, but
Strict enough
good.
where
Yeah, good.
you know.
You know what I'm saying? Strict enough to where you don't
Facts.
have no freedom. So you get to college and then now you're out there.
It's like chains off for real. Chains off the fight.
Exactly. So like walk us through like a week, right? Of maybe walk us through like a week of what that looked like when you first got to college. Or when
Okay,
you was first
so
going through that isolation.
yeah, I'll say because the isolation didn't really happen when I first got to
Yeah.
college. Because
You was having a ball.
yeah, but also it's like I knew people. Like I wasn't like the only person at my school I knew. Like I knew
Mhm.
people from the city and everything. So you feel me? I had people to be out with and everything. So I was eager to be out. So I won't say that happened. I'll say it'll really happen again like that second year, moving off campus. So you literally don't have to like when you're on campus you have to almost participate in everything or something. You're gonna hear about it or like you're gonna hear it going on. There's just more factors that are gonna make you want to go, entice you to go. But just being off campus and again, everybody's kind of having their own schedule now. Everybody's dropping into their major. You're not seeing, you don't have the freshman one-on-one classes. Y'all go get lunch right after, stuff like that. Go to the gym. So day to day, that looked like me getting up. When I went to
When
class. You feel me? But more oftentimes than not, it was just me in the room listening to music, working on music, creating. Back then, I was still producing, or just trying to get in the lab with my roommate at the time, Terrence. Shout out T Tao. But yeah, it was either just working with him, but outside of that, it was I am by status. Like if people came to the crib, I would speak, be cordial. But other than that, it's just I was just in a zone of, and I won't even say it was like just a full locked in my bag zone because like I wasn't locked in how I was supposed to be. Like as far as the music, I was doing it, but I wasn't doing it to where it could be done or to the extent that I needed to want to actually make it a career or profit off of it. So I can't even say I was fully just locked in on my grind. I was just
You took the steps to lock in. You just ain't really locked in all the way.
yeah, it was really kind of that what to do with this freedom. Like, cause granted, again, when you in first year, it's still nice, but you still for me, I was still in contact with my people more and everything. They were still kind of checking in on my grades, like that type of situation. So when I moved off, it was like I'm really on my own first time. Like I don't have to worry about them calling me. Well, I don't have a responsibility to
Yeah.
answer. I'll say
Yeah.
because they can call, but no disrespect to my people. Y'all know how that go. But again, sometimes you just don't want to talk. Like if it's not urgent, like I'll call you back when I feel I'm in a
Exactly.
space to talk.
And that's how it should be. Like
Yeah,
if you don't have that energy, if you can't give to someone a conversation to someone, you shouldn't. Because
yeah,
then you might mess them up, or not even about them. It might be worse for you. Now you just digging your hole, right?
yeah.
So you mentioned a little bit earlier academic probation, right? So you went through your first year, had a ball, had your friends, you're living on campus, right? Everything's good, right? Obviously you have your bad days, but that's normal, right?
Yeah,
You're not in isolation yet, right?
nah.
You move off campus, now you can't walk 2 steps to go to your friend's dorm,
Or
right?
class.
Or class, right? You can't do that, right? Now
Facts.
you're off campus. You have to actually have the car, get in the car, go somewhere, catch the bus, whatever the case may be. So it kind of naturally leads you to isolation because
Yeah.
you're not right beside someone, right? Um, and then on top of that, you're also in your music bag. Like you're really trying to focus, right? You really want to
Yeah, find myself creatively and
find
my
myself,
sound.
right?
Yeah.
We want to know what this is, right? So now that's like another step into the isolation. And then on top of that, now you aren't speaking to everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
Parents calling, not answering, friends calling, not answering. You're not really going out much, right? So now you're
Facts.
kind of possibly falling into this isolation.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, if you could remember, like, what were you kind of how did it feel to not necessarily decline or not go out or things like that, but like what do you think your mindset was? Were you thinking you were locked in? Obviously you can look back now and you can
Mm-hmm.
always tell what the mistakes were. You can always say,
Yeah.
hey, I really wasn't locked in. But like in that moment, right?
Right.
Did you feel locked in? Do you think that, hey, I'm not necessarily isolating myself, but I'm really just locking in on the music?
Yeah, but as far as myself, like I know myself very like
Yeah.
really well.
Hmm.
So like, all right, for example, I remember when my people were really serious about me trying to do the military and everything,
Hmm.
just because it has those benefits and everything like that.
So they say.
Yeah, so they say, you feel me? If you know, you know. If you don't, then God help you. But yeah, so they were kind of pushing that on me hard, and I had a cousin who was in the military at the time who they wanted me to talk to, tell me her experiences and everything. And what I was trying to explain to my mother is that's a waste of conversation. If the goal is of the conversation is to persuade me to see why this would be a good thing or to make me reconsider like going to the military, that's a waste of conversation. And my mother and like other people that say, "Oh, like you an asshole, you're like you arrogant, like
Hmm.
nobody can say." It's not that,
I know
but
what I
it's
don't
just
want to do.
yeah, I know. If I don't know nothing, I know what I don't want to do. And so you telling me the benefits of something will not change my perspective on it.
Hmm.
Like that's fine that it worked for you or that's how you process information or that's the path you took and I respect that. And I can hear you out if you just want to have if it's truly just a conversation, but if you're coming to actually try to persuade me or change my way of thinking, then yeah, we're actually wasting breath. So it's like again, I won't say that I was not like when I say I wasn't in my bag, like I wasn't in my bag and
Hmm.
like I knew I wasn't in my bag,
Then
but I
too.
was yeah, it was just more of a situation where it's like
I have nothing else to do, so let's play with the music while I'm here.
no, it's more okay. So it's more of like, all right, music is everyday life.
Hmm.
Like that's not a chore. That's not an outside task. Like
That's what I do. That's what
yeah,
I
it's
like to
what I
do.
do. So yeah, so I was working on music just because that's literally just routine. That's like you
My free
doing your
time, that's what
yoga,
I'm
your
doing.
athlete. Like you like working out. You like being the athlete that you are. The things that go into it.
Yeah.
You actually doing it. You feel me?
I
Nobody has
know.
to tell you to do that.
Yeah.
So it was kind of that situation. Like I'm working out, but also it's a different between when you're just working out and then okay, you have to condition because you're about to actually go play or try out for a league or something. Like that's just more intentional. It's more focused work. So I'll say it's kind of that difference. Like I was working because outside, if you don't
That's what you
live
do.
music,
Yeah.
then yeah, I'm sure it's working to you because you're going outside of your regular routine or your regular schedule to work on that. But for me, it was just like,
That was life.
yeah, I'm making it, but I'm not doing what I like. I'm not mixing how I need to. I'm not promoting it.
You weren't intentional with it.
Yeah, because with the
wasn't
music,
putting
it's
deadlines on things. I wasn't doing anything like that. I was just doing I was waking up and breathing.
exactly.
And
I
then
had no business. I was just living.
we're in this isolation, right? Doing this music, focused, unfocused, however we felt then, right?
Right.
That's what it was. What would you say happened next? Did that isolation further? Or would you say you were working your way around it? Like you're aware of yourself. So at this time. So at this point, man, I'm declining all these invitations. I live off campus, so not too many people coming over. Right. By myself a lot. You're aware. You notice. What was happening next? After you noticed it, right? Because first you have to know.
Yeah.
Once
Facts.
you noticed it, what was happening next?
I wasn't necessarily in a position where I was trying to get out.
Mm-hmm.
I was just in a, I don't know. It just kind of, I'm trying to think.
Because you were living. You didn't necessarily notice you were in isolation. And most of the time, most people don't know when they're in the isolation.
Well, I did notice.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna hold you.
So
Just because I noticed, like, again, like when you have those you have that set routine of like people you text per day or like, you feel me? Especially when we were younger, we had those relationships were a lot closer, so it was easier to kind of you send a random text throughout the day or like maybe you stuff like that, and that just kind of stopped for me. Like I stopped, like I've never been like a big check-in person, which is something I still work on to this day. But like at that point, it was really like, yeah, if I don't see you,
we don't speak.
yeah, most likely. No hate. It's just it's
Yeah.
love when I see you. It's just I'm just in my own world. Like I'm battling my own flaws.
Okay.
I know the isolation wasn't the whole time because at a point when like the following year
Junior year.
yeah, junior year, one of our roommates left, so I kind of got closer with my bro Drees at the time.
Okay.
So I'll say that kind of was like outside of isolation. Like, granted, outside of him, it's not like I'm chatting up everybody, but you feel me that we're having that connection where it's like we're talking. He's my roommate. I'm seeing him every day. Like, he get me smoking, just all that. Yeah, in fact, just chilling, plotting, all that. So I'll say that. I mean, I guess that kind of got me out, but I was still kind of isolated even in that stage. It was just he was the only other person there. So I don't know if that's. I mean, I guess it's not isolation, but it's not intentional. It's not intentional. Like, you get what I'm saying? Yeah, it's not intentional fellowship.
He's my roommate.
That's the word.
I go grab some. I go
Yeah,
grab some
I mean,
out
we're
the
actually
kitchen.
cool, so it works.
We
But
gonna speak.
Yeah,
when I go
facts.
grab something out the refrigerator, that's how I go.
Or if he got something to tell me, he'll tell me. Or if I got something to tell him, I'll tell him because it's like, who else I'm gonna tell? Like,
Exactly.
you is the only bro here.
Nah. All right. So academic probation didn't really affect you.
Yeah, nah, because that was kind of just again.
Yeah, back then.
Once I figured out that I'm on academic probation because I don't
do work.
Yeah,
because I knew this was coming.
Yeah, facts. I really had to play like it's crazy.
That
like,
didn't make anything worse.
Yeah,
I knew it was. I was waiting for it.
Yeah, I was obviously not doing the work. It was still kind of a shock. It was like, damn, I'm seeing other people be successful, but for some reason, that was the one thing that I didn't see myself. Like, I couldn't see that I was not applying myself, so I obviously was not getting the results I wanted.
Yes.
Maybe because just you know how school is.
So
like,
why do you
always get told you're gifted and all that?
Exactly.
Like
so, because through high school, right?
Yeah.
You were in the AP classes.
Yeah.
You were in those.
I mean, it's Richmond one.
You went to Clemson. Yeah. First of all, let's put that out there. Yeah. Everybody can't get into Clemson, right? So you had the grades. So like going to school and then seeing everybody being successful. Maybe your first year was pretty good, right? But then once these things, academic probation happened, or just not seeing the grades you got. What do you think, and why do you think that happened? Was it because of the freedom, and you just started doing so much other stuff? Was it Why do you think you weren't as successful in the classroom as you previously were? Because it's not something you haven't ever been. It's something you were.
Yeah, but like I said, I'll throw that down to just the the stereotype of like, okay, I don't even think I'm just some special gifted child, but the gifted program. So you're in the AP class and everything, but at the same time, like the outside conversation is, at least in the state of South Carolina, is this is a Richland one curriculum.
They don't know what that means.
Like I know they don't know what that is, but like, okay, so basically it's not up to par with the standards of the rest of the United States academia. I'll say it like that. So first you have this culture shock where it's like you go from being in top 10 to like, oh no, I'm failing real life, but I'm doing the same things I was doing in high school. Like this doesn't add
So
up.
it didn't really set you up for success.
Yeah.
Because they're saying you're this, and then once you actually get in the real world and realize like you're still here,
Yeah.
but here is there and that.
Yeah,
You know
the
what I'm
world
saying?
is, yeah.
And that
Big
other
fish in the, you feel me? Big fish in a small pond, or however that goes.
got you.
Yeah.
Okay,
Until you
and
get
that's
to the
why,
ocean.
it didn't really affect you much more because you were able to realize this. You were able to see this and understand why.
Yeah,
this
and
is-
also realize, once I realized that, okay, this is going to take more work than what I'm used to doing, because again, just a different level of, again, it's college now.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the same thing. And then also realizing, okay, now that I realize this takes work, I don't want to do this. I've actually not been doing it. So it's just time to leave the school shit alone.
Exactly.
Because it's just not getting done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I don't want to do it. I mean, there's no shame in it.
Yeah,
There's
facts.
obviously everyone doesn't go to school.
Yeah. Everybody
Millions,
has their own path.
millions of successful people not going to school. So obviously that's
And even the people who do go to school, they have to put that time in.
exactly. It just sucks, we went spent a little bit of money.
Yeah.
On not
It took,
wanting to do
it took
something.
money for us to figure out, oh, that's why.
That's why I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
All right, man. So we go through this little isolation. We're in Clemson, right? We're going through everything. So what do you do? Do you leave? Do you keep going, just failing?
So yeah, I kept going, just failing, but
That sounded so bad.
nah, it did. But here's the thing, though. I like, I was doing enough. Like, if I kept it on, I'm sure I could have graduated. You feel me? I wouldn't have had no honors or no extra shit. You feel me? But I could have got out of there. Yeah, definitely. Because also my major was like audio technology, so it's something I was already interested in. And it's not like I have to really go out of body to really want to do this. But it kind of came down to a class that, all right, so you know how you have the one-on-one classes and you have to follow. All right, so I did the one-on-one class and I barely got out of with a C. So something in my head still made me sign up for the follow-up class that was not, you feel it, I didn't need it to graduate. It would only worsen my and make sure I had the scholarship. So that's kind of what happened. And when that happened, I was like, yeah, I'm done. There's no way I'm coming back.
Okay. So you just finished that semester out. And
Yeah.
then you just didn't go back.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. And then how did that? Was that like I knew it was happening, so it is what it is, and on to the next step in life, or what? Like what was the next step? Like so you kind of knew I
Yeah.
set myself up for failure.
Facts.
Right.
Literally.
I knew I set myself up for failure.
Yeah.
Now failure is about to happen. Cool.
Yeah.
So are we planning for the future? What are we doing next? Like what are we because we've already went through one isolation, right? We already kind of
Right.
knows how it feels to be by ourselves.
Mhm.
No one wants to do that again, right?
Yeah.
Obviously it happens. But so what was
To an extent. Yeah.
yeah, so what was necessarily what happened next? All right, school's done now. Right?
Yeah, school's done. So I'm basically finishing out my lease and my time in Clemson. And then I end up
Did
coming.
you at least go out with a bang? Like you was like, I'm done with school because I can't do it no more. But I had this lease for a couple more weeks or months. Did you do a couple parties or something? Or you just kind of you ain't got
I feel like everybody was leaving at that time. It was kind of like that junior year hump. So it's like
everybody was
yeah, it's like the niggas who are really like, no, I'm done with this. They're about done with that. And then the people who are actually locked in, they're getting the internships, the co-ops. So everybody's time is just a lot
different
more.
now.
Yeah, everybody's working, paying for their rent or whatever school they're about to continue. So yeah, it's hectic.
Yeah.
But I did enjoy my time there. You feel me? Again, it could have been better if like I was working like 2-3 jobs at that point. Like I had fell on kind of hard time, but it was still good. You know, I wouldn't trade those times.
Got you. So this first kind of isolation at Clemson, right?
Yeah.
what would you say helped you maneuver through it and or out of it? Right, you were aware, you became aware of it. Right, you noticed it was happening. You knew everything. The reason everything was happening, you knew why it was happening.
Yeah.
Right, you noticed everything. You're actually able to notice the isolation. How would you say, what were things you did to move forward? Right, through either to get out of the isolation or just move. Like, you're not always. Sometimes you don't get out, but
Yeah.
move forward through it. What were some things that you would say? Would it be? Was it family coming back around? Did you maybe just like really fall into music and just help that try to um express yourself? Because I remember in college you dropped a few songs during that time too, so I know you was
Yeah.
actually releasing stuff as well. Like, was that a way to help express yourself and kind of lift that weight off your shoulder a little bit, or what would you say were some of the things that help you get around it?
Things that got me out the isolation was kind of just like my roommates for real,
Hmm.
just being around just people, Terrence, Colin, Drees, and all them. It's like somebody always got something to talk about.
Yeah.
You feel me? And it's like, you feel me? They real good people, so it's like
So the
it's an easy
community.
vibe. You feel me? It's not like we were roommates and then we became cool. We was
Hmm.
cool and then we were roommates. So yeah, just being able to. They always got to move. If not, we can do something at the crib. Just kick it at the crib.
Got you.
Outside of that, working, just
So the
getting to the
community
bag.
around you, basically,
Yeah,
the
community.
community
Yeah,
around you just kind of
fact.
made sure you was good. So they checked in on you. Also, you was also doing things as well, so you're not finding
Yeah,
yourself alone to fall into those thoughts or nothing like
yeah.
that. All right, so then we back at home.
Oh yeah, back at home.
You're in Columbia.
Yeah, in Columbia. So the plan now is just locking on the music, stack your bread, put the bread into the music. That's pretty much the goal.
Okay.
I'm in my. This is not isolation, but it's kind of between them.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in the middle. I'm at my mom's crib. Just started at teleperformance actually. Funny how things come full circle. But yeah, so I started there and just I met some people there who worked on music too. So
Mhm.
that kind of that made sure no isolation was going on. I reconnected with old friends from the city,
Mhm.
just because it had been a
Yeah.
minute since we were frequently in contact.
And you back at home, so
Yeah,
now it's
it just makes sense. It's easy to link up. So yeah, just doing that. Things are good.
all right. So that's good, man. The community got you out, right? And like I said, you were aware of what was happening next.
Hmm.
School was gonna be over, so we got home, locking in on the music. You get to teleperformance, you meet some cool people. You're back at home as well, so you got some of those friends that probably helped you start music back in high school and things like that, right?
Definitely.
Got closer with them and everything, man. So now life's going good until you said around 2021. You
Yeah.
started trading in the foreign exchange market.
Yeah.
Got you. Gotcha. That's what you started doing, right? Like many of us, we all had to try it, right? Had to try it.
Well, I'm still doing it. Like, stop playing with me.
Hey, listen. So I actually have two great guests on the show previously, both foreign exchange traders,
Okay, I
day
gotta check out that
traders,
episode.
uptown Charlotte, living.
They
That's all
doing
they
right.
do. You know what I'm saying? That's all
Yeah.
they do. So it's definitely it
Definitely
definitely has a
trying to get
negative
back there.
connotation about it.
Yeah.
Many people have it, but like you said, some things work for some people, some things don't.
That's simple.
It's that simple, right?
Yeah.
But you said this was a potential isolation for you.
Right. So, well, I did isolate, and
Okay.
it was due to me trying to get out of the 9 to 5 that I was at. I was at Blue Cross at the time. I had left Teleperformance.
Okay.
Um, and I was at Blue Cross, and I just got back on the trading situation. I did a little bit in college. Around 2016. That was before it was like really big hype,
Yeah.
and they turned it into the multi-level marketing and all that. But yeah, so I dabbled in it before, and I was interested in it. But naturally, most people who take it serious, you learn if you don't have equity, it's either going to be a really long route for you, or it's probably no route at all.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I learned the skill, but I didn't have the equity, so I have to pay actual bills.
Mm-hmm.
So fast forward to about the end of 2021, around November. That whole year, I had just gotten back into trading. I found a new camp or whatever, and I was learning. But when I started with them, like I was trading, but again, they were kind of more pushing.
Multi-level marketing.
Yeah, you know how that go. So I wasn't able to really lock in how I was supposed to and do what I needed to do to make money and actually be able to live off of it. So but around November, that's when I won't say something clicked. I put the time in, as far as just really locking in. Like, I wasn't even making music at this time for real. Like, I wasn't going into the studio. I wasn't even listening to new music. I was listening to like trading podcasts. Like, I was literally just putting myself literally
In it.
I was fully submersing myself in it just because I was so tired of just working like the 9 to 5. Like, I was just so ready to go.
You got into a repetitive system. You were just trying to find a way out.
I needed something different.
Especially being young, it's like we're fresh out. Don't necessarily know what we're gonna do. But I feel like a lot of people, me included, like this is why I try to have a lot of different avenues. But I feel like a lot of young people or people our age don't want to fall into that everyday, going to work,
for sure,
coming home, maybe do something fun on the weekends.
Of course, especially with how social media is, of course.
Exactly, right? No one wants to do that, which it is perfectly fine to do that. There's definitely nothing wrong with that. But I do feel like a lot of people in our generation don't want that for some reason, right? And it's not an odd thing to happen. So like you said, especially with social media. And that's why it was so heavy with the multi-level marketing, because it's a great way to actually add
to your network as well.
Exactly. All right, man. So you locking in, right? That's all you're doing. Podcasts, everything you're watching. You're watching YouTube videos. You're studying. You're doing all this stuff. You're locked in. Where did the isolation come in? Is it not seeing the results? Was it social media, just seeing everyone else do it and do good at it, especially with that level of work
in sales? We'll say,
yeah, especially with sales in general and the multi-level marketing aspect of it, right? A lot of people lie. Especially with social media. So it's like, I know it could have been hard.
Whether it's by omission or exaggeration.
Exactly. Like even the guest I had on earlier, Marvin Aquino, they spoke about it like that. That affected them a little bit. Obviously, they were
thought you was about to say he came on the show lying.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Nah. But that affected. They admitted to like how that affected them. Like they're seeing all this thing. Like they actually know how to trade.
Yeah.
But they want to keep up. They have to show the image of knowing how to trade because multi-level marketing is an extra paycheck.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, people have whatever opinion they have on it. It's an extra paycheck.
I'm telling you,
paycheck. Right, so they have to do this, and it was making them do things they didn't really want to do to try to keep that paycheck in, right?
Yep.
So where did you feel like your isolation came in at?
As far as like why it began or like timeline of when it began, because
what did it look like? We don't even gotta put a time on it.
Okay,
what did it look like?
So it really just looked like I'm waking up 7:15, 7:30 at the latest, 7:30 a.m. at the latest.
Try to catch the markets.
Yeah, you feel me? Having a markup, having a prediction of what I think the market's going to do before the 9:30. Just so I can kind of, just make my setups and figure what strategy I'm going to go with. And then after that, after 9:30, from about 7:30 to about 11, just looking at the charts, marking up. If the markets look good that day, take some trades. If not, probably still take some trades and take some L's in a choppy market because I was hard headed
on some FOMO.
Yeah, fear of missing out. Yeah, definitely. After that, go ahead and listen to some podcasts. Listening to podcasts of traders who are doing full-time trading and really just understanding the psychology of it. That was the biggest thing for me, just because, and that's why I needed to isolate, because when I first joined, they were talking a lot about the psychology of trading, but they were applying it more to the multi-level marketing side, the entrepreneurship side. So I was like, I'm not going on those calls like y'all trying to play me like I'm here to trade. Like,
I want to
y'all about to get me hot. Yeah, like I don't want to learn how to edify. Like, stop playing with me. But now when I actually get into the market, I'm like, okay, this whole market is just psychology. Like, it's literally just having the discipline to know, hey, I have these set guidelines. I need to stick to them. So I'll say that's really what triggered it. Because just in general, like, I've had problems with discipline in the past. Just disciplining myself. Really just putting down the short-term wants for the long-term gain. So it just got to a stopping point in my life where it's like I needed to be more disciplined, and also I want to leave the job. And so that's kind of how the isolation started. Oh, yeah.
Because you wanted it all now.
Yeah,
right?
I wanted it all now.
Just like everything, right?
Facts.
A lot of people, a lot of old heads say we're the microwave generation. We want it now. We want it now. We want it now. We want it now.
Definitely.
And then we have opportunities and we have ways where we can get it now.
Mm-hmm.
But I just got to be disciplined enough to do it.
Yeah, and actually learn it.
I'm not good with discipline.
Yeah.
So now it's like an internal battle inside.
Really?
It's like I know that there's a way to make this money right now.
Yeah.
I know what I have to do to make this money right now, but I'm not doing it.
Exactly.
Now I'm going to beat myself up. Now I'm going to isolate myself.
Naturally. I got to beat myself up.
Right? But no, we don't. We got to give ourselves grace, right?
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
I'm in therapy now, bro, and it's like, and I've always been one to extend grace.
Yeah, facts.
Right? So
Same.
even when I'm in my sessions, like we talk about it all the time, I extend grace a lot. Like you would speak for it more. Like you don't usually see me angry, upset too often.
I don't think I've ever seen you really just upset. Like, nah, Chauncey.
Yeah,
and I haven't seen that.
And it's really just because it's like cliche, control what you can control.
Yeah.
Right. And side note, what I'm about to say is a cliche, but being a cliche is what it actually is. Like, in order for something to be a cliche, it has to be said repetitive. In order for something to be a cliche, it would have to been said over and over and over.
Some truth
for things to be said over and over and over, has to have some truth to it. So although it has some truth. You know what I'm saying? Not everything, but for things to be cliche, right? And control what you can control.
Yeah, facts,
it's a cliche
definitely.
phrase, but that's literally what you have to do.
And that's literally all you can do.
That's all. Because if you let outside things affect you, you're gonna ride that emotional roller coaster. You're gonna
definitely.
be up, down, left, right, upside down. Woo, yeah, you're gonna be doing all that, right?
Yeah.
And that's not what we want to do in life because that's not sane.
Yeah, it's not. You're definitely gonna have a lot more drama and just open to more negativity if, again, it's just that easy to
sway your emotions.
Exactly. Yep.
And now you're in this market, right? You're on this up and down market. There's two things the market's gonna do: go up and go down.
I'm telling you, sounds easy.
So if you're riding this market wave, right? When that market's up, I'm pretty sure you're a little happy. I got a couple dollars a day. When it's down, you killed yourself though.
Facts.
Right? It didn't equal out, right? Because just like most people, you take more L's than you take wins.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? And that was affecting you.
Yeah.
You're not good at disciplining yourself. You've admitted that, right? That's something you want to work on.
Yeah. Definitely.
Where did the discipline kick in? Where did it start during the trading process?
So it started just by getting up at 7:30. Like, for anybody who knows me, like, I love sleep. Like, that's my dog. Like, it's really, that actually might be like my fatal flaw for real. Oh, just that sleep, boy. It just holds you different.
You want to go to sleep now?
I'm telling you, just thinking about it, like, this crazy. But yeah, like I really had a love relationship, no hate, just love relationship with sleep. And I had to just, understand that the amount I was sleeping, it was just gonna lead to slothfulness and not getting what I needed done. Not getting what I needed done in the time I needed it to be done. Not saying, because like you said, the part of the isolation was like, I'm beating myself up because I've been losing so much. I haven't been disciplining myself. I need to really kick it to the next gear. So yeah, it just started just wanting to win, and it started just, hey, let me wake up on time. Let me be up for the markets. There's no way I can have an effective trading plan, like, if I'm not even awake to study the market. Like, if I haven't looked left, like, but I'm already taking a trade, I know I'm wrong. Like, I have looked at no indicators. Exactly. So it's really just started there. Waking up on time, even just getting breakfast, kind of start building a routine for myself, getting breakfast, just going outside. I wasn't doing like no crazy working out, just soaking in the sun. Just truly waking up, making sure I'm present in the moment. And then from there, again, just locking down the schedule for the rest of the day, eat, go back to what time I'm a back test. That was usually after I ate, around like after lunch, 1 to like 3 usually. And then make sure I still have time to get in my music, as far as whether it's just listening, freestyling. Yeah, I wasn't really doing like a lot of mixing or like getting prepared to drop, but just more the creation process. Like you said, that is a release for me. So that could just never stop. But yeah, just putting it more on the back burner and saying, hey, my focus right now is the trading. I get the trading right, everything else will kind of streamline how I want it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Once the profits come for trading, I can now supply.
Exactly.
So I can
Do the
provide
music
for
how I
the
need
music.
to. Yeah.
Exactly. So trading didn't work out, right?
Right.
To an extent, made a couple dollars, lost a lot of dollars, right? But
Yeah.
you know,
That's pretty much. I mean, but it had a good time. Like, you feel me? Like, I was able to live off it for a minute. So I'm blessed for the lessons I was able to learn in that, and how I'll be able to apply it in the future.
So trading worked for what it was supposed to work for you, right?
For a time, yeah.
For a time, and I believe it did a lot for you, just for the simple fact that you was able to create a routine and some discipline, just to carry in life.
Correct.
Right? Everything isn't meant to be in your life, just like everyone is meant to be in your life forever. People are in for a season or a reason, right? Trading was a reason. It was a good season because I was making some money with it. But for whatever reason, that wasn't my life plan. That wasn't going to be there forever. But it instilled in me some discipline, right? Which was able to help you get out of that isolation, especially with trading. Yeah. And then discipline is also going to help you in the future. Because unfortunately, we ain't gonna be done with them.
Yeah,
right? They gonna come. There's highs and lows of life, but now you were able to learn earlier on, right, that discipline is what's gonna help me, right? Being able to wake up and actually being present in things, like that's good for me. Like that's allowing me to, even when I take this loss, I'm okay mentally.
I'm able to maintain it. It doesn't feel like a loss.
It's a lesson, right?
Yeah.
It's just a job. Like this happens, right? Because losses happen, and like it was able to give you that sense of like, okay, cool. Now what's the next step? Definitely. What are we gonna do about it, right? Because we can't control it, right?
Can't do that.
It happened already, right? So what are we gonna do about it? So that was a good tool to help just like get you out and make sure you don't fall into a isolation. Right?
Yeah, facts.
All right. So is there,
to an extent though, because a part of my discipline was the isolation too. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. But sometimes, like, so for example, right, part of the discipline was to isolate yourself, right?
Facts.
Every isolation isn't negative.
Yeah, definitely. Right? Sometimes it's needed.
Mental health isn't always negative.
No.
Right? There's positive mental health talk, right?
Yeah. It's health.
Exactly. As we talk about your story, there's some bad that, we're talking about the bad that's going on.
Definitely.
But we're doing it to gain good out of it, right? To
Yeah.
understand and for you to express how you've been able to work things out yourself, right?
Introspection is always necessary.
Exactly. And expansion is exposure, right? So
I like that.
So we're able to, give these people like a story to like maybe listen to. It's like, okay. Well, when I was trading, I didn't have the discipline.
Yeah.
So I was those L's hurt every day.
I'm knowing.
Right? So you might have someone who's trading right now. It's like, all right, now I know. Let me try to create a routine. Let me just try to figure out what's next. Let me get my, my mental right for these ups and downs of the market, right?
Definitely.
Same with the music in college, right? Dang, college isn't for me, right? But what can I do to get around it? Let's see what this community around me is, right? Maybe if I can talk to them, express to them what's going on, whether it's family, whether it's my friends, my roommates, things like that. Maybe they can help me come to a decision like, this isn't for me. Let me not waste money. Or this is for me, actually, right? Because their story might not be your story, right?
Nope.
Maybe they can be bad doing isolating themselves. They can do certain things, but they talk to these people and it's like, hey, nah, bro, you tripping. This actually is you. And now they can come back and be like, oh, yeah, man, let me lock in. Now they can get back right with the grades, right? Now with trading, they can do whatever they got to do, right?
Yeah.
All right. So, we've been through these, right? That was last thing was like 2021 now, right? And we're living now, right?
Yeah.
And obviously life is far from perfect, right? Life
of course.
Isn't perfect. We're going through things now.
It's always changing.
But through with what you said earlier, right? The discipline and the community around you, now you're able to not even fall into one, right? You might have a bad day, but you're not going to let that fall into a bad week or a bad month, right? Now you have the community or the discipline to kind of get yourselves out of it. So,
right, but also my isolations might not necessarily be bad. Yeah, but yeah. I want it to seem like
I'm not having them.
Yeah, or if I do have them, it's necessarily because I'm in a place of a place where like I'm not myself. Yeah. It's just like
I'm intentionally isolating myself.
Yeah, that's just how that's just how I process things. That's how I get things done. Like when I'm around my people, I like to be with my people. Like I like to talk, chat, hang out, all that. So I really do have to get those moments where it's like, okay, it's good to be with your friends. It's good to be back out, going out, having fun, but there's work to do. Like you're nowhere where you need to be. Like, come on.
You aren't where you were.
Right.
That's the biggest
Which
thing,
is a
right?
blessing, yeah, in itself.
And that's a battle I have now. It's like you aren't where you were, but you still want more.
Yeah, a lot more.
All right, so let's kind of express some of the tools that you would think helped you mainly.
Your tools for today are discipline and affirmations that are spoken, because another cliche, if you don't speak it and it's not written, you're not serious.
Yeah.
It's just the reality. You have to be seeing that every day. You have to literally condition your mind to be locked in on what you need to be on. Not saying, and that shouldn't cause isolation. It's also the balance that you need to find with that. So that's your third tool, balance. Like the little wristbands they used to sell. Like, well, I guess those were fake. Did those help?
No, I think they were fake.
Yeah. But you feel me? Like, you need to be balanced in all things, because yeah, there's a time for isolation, but there's also there's almost always a time for community, and always, going back to that community, and being able to give back, becoming a better version of yourself for humanity.
Yes. But nah, like I said, man, this is my dog, man. So this conversation was pretty smooth. And I'm just thankful again. Like I said, I definitely want to thank you for allowing me to have you on the show, man. And I hope
Thank
all
you,
the
bro.
listeners,
You got me on my isolation, bro.
I
For real.
appreciate it. No, I appreciate it, man. That's just like for the listeners and the viewers, that's the goal for them. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that I can help with that, and giving you this platform is something to help you
On me.
maybe get out of isolation. Like I said, I just want to thank you for coming on. Before we end it, man, I want you to go ahead and drop anything you got, any socials, you got a brand you rocking, you selling, you all your music. Go ahead, just tell them your official name, your music.
Yeah, so follow me pretty much everywhere that matters. Twitter, Instagram. You can follow me on TikTok. I feel weird saying that. Maybe that's just toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm on TikTok too. SOLOGTF. SOLOGTF, real simple. I got some new music coming for y'all in the coming months. Just be on the lookout.